Hey, it's Lynn Brown, and welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast. I'm a results coach, and I spent the first half of my life stuck in the comparison trap. It was really like being in a mental prison. And then in my spare time, I was a master people pleaser. And then one day I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I bet on me. And I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but it's not the best place in the world to be. But taking that first step changed everything. And it was the first time I'd ever done that. I had seen that quote, by Wayne Dyer that said, y'all have probably seen it before too. It's like when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. Well, I had heard that for years. I had just never done it. And there's a difference between hearing something and doing something. And there's a difference between knowing something and doing something. So here I am, entering year 7 of this growth journey. And I'll tell you, it's daily. And let me just go ahead and say this for the record, it's uphill too. It's not easy. The last couple of weeks, I've been dealing with, some change and some decisions that I've had to make, in my business, and it's not easy. And what I find is that, so many people want to change. I don't think there's really anybody walking around if they're not honest, that they would not admit that there's something that they want to change. But the thing that separates the people that change from the people that don't is that there's work involved. And nobody wants to do the work that it takes to make it happen. It all happens between our ears, I believe. That 6 inches between both of our ears. You can eat all the kale you want to, and you can lunge all the way to LA and back, or halfway across the world for that matter, wherever you're listening in from. And we can write down goals all day long. You can have the cutest, dang, flashiest vision board you ever did see. But if there's no activity, there's no change. That's pretty good. I think I'll write that down, maybe make a meme. But it's the truth. If there's no activity, there's no change. And I think y'all know what I'm saying when I say this, but nobody's coming to do it. So it's up to us. And go ahead and get that lie out of your head that there are some people out there doing it totally unafraid. That's a bogus story. BS. Remember, it's a family show. It's a bogus story. But I'm sure that you would agree that there probably are some people that fear more than others. So fear is okay. It's a normal emotion. But I believe in this process, the activity that we take helps us to be less fearful. We will fear less. I'm not saying we're not going to fear at all, but we will fear less. And I spent so much time just trapped, focused on what everybody else was doing, on what they were thinking. My thoughts literally held me captive. And my thoughts were impacting my feelings and how I felt about myself personally. And my feelings were directly tied to then my actions, my behaviors, what I was doing. And honestly, the first half of my life, my results were so far below average. I can remember in school, I just wanted to make average. If I could just get a C, that was my goal, just to make a C. But I want to tell you something, you gritty sisters and gritty brothers, if y'all are listening in. We are not created for average. It's the worst of the best and the best of the worst. We were not created and put on this beautiful planet for us just to slide through, drift by, and slowly make it to the pearly gates. So I wanted to share with you a couple of things, that I've done to break through these limiting beliefs. And I'll be honest with you, I had to borrow the belief first. I didn't even have enough belief to get started, but I found some mentors and some coaches that did have enough belief, they had access, and so I borrowed some of theirs. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I don't like going out in the cold workout. But I decided well in advance that that's non-negotiable. Actually, my health, my heart decided that for me 11 years ago. Oh, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, yeah, when I had my heart attack. I mean, I think you would honestly agree with me that if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. So that was a non-negotiable. So now rain, shine, sleet, hail, it doesn't matter. I'm working out. And I can't help but wonder, about a year and a half ago, if we had known what we were facing in this pandemic, would our habits and our patterns and our production have changed? If we could have seen this coming, would we have done things different? The thing about it is, yes, we've experienced this pandemic. We're still experiencing this pandemic. As we're not to the other side yet. We will get to the other side of it, but we're not there yet. But honestly, after this, guess what? It's going to be something else. It might be something different. It might be the economy, or we don't know what it will be, but there will be something else, because that's just called life. So how are we going to decide in advance of whatever the next thing is? How are we going to decide now how we will respond? It's too late when you're in the middle of it. It's too late. So if you knew what was holding you back, because I know so many times when I'm coaching, I'll ask this question and people are like, I don't know, I don't have any clue. But what if you did? If you did have a clue, what is the thing that's holding you back from stepping out, from doing that thing that you've thought about for years, the thing that you've dreamed about? Y'all, knowing what you want is key. And then knowing why you want it, that's the thing that will propel you out of your house, even if you're still in your house because of COVID. But you know what I'm saying. Knowing what you want and why you want it is the thing that will push you and propel you and promote you faster than anything. It'll be your non-negotiable. And I think there comes a time in everybody's life when we got to push play on your life. Lynn Brown, it's time for me to push play on my life. I don't know about you, but I honestly finally got tired of watching everybody else's highlight reels. It's like I want to create my own. I love to read, and I know that leaders are readers. And when I say this, don't think I'm dissing the art of reading and learning and growing, because that is key. That is primary. We all have to be there. But I got into such a habit of just looking for the next best, greatest thing. I just kept looking for it. And honestly, I think I've experienced this, gotten to the place where it was like just information overload. It was information fatigue. My brain was just so full. So it was time for me to start pushing it out into the world. So we all have a purpose, and we all have a passion, and we all have a voice. And the thing about your voice is there's somebody waiting to hear your voice. And they're not going to respond to my voice. They're waiting to hear your voice and your story. You have a unique identity. And I hope and I pray that this year will be the year that you step into that. And it's time, regardless of your past, regardless even of yesterday and how that went for you. Now is the time to fix whatever it is that's holding you back. And it can be fixed. I am living, breathing proof. We can be fixed. I'm not saying I'm totally fixed. Let's be clear. There's some places that I still have to have a lot of work in. But I'm a heck of a lot farther down the road than I was. The fact that I was even aware that I was moving to this place of just this sensory overload, this information overload, the fact that I even knew that I needed to tweak that a little bit is growth. And really now, the playing field is equal. We're all reinventing and inventing and adjusting to this new way of life. Our past results do not determine what we can create in our future. I love that. Our past results do not determine what we are capable of creating in our future. But again, nobody's coming for you. This is up to you. If it is to be, it's up to me. And trust me, I'm talking to myself too. I'm experiencing a wake-up call, an awakening, whatever you want to call it. I really more feels like I've been put in a paper bag and somebody's just been shaking me for a little bit. But I feel like I'm being shaken. I feel like that there's something new emerging in my future. There's just something new coming, and I wish I could tell you what it was. But I know this. I trust this process. I trust this process, and I know as long as I'm in the process, I'm making progress. And I'm willing to fight for what I want. Mainly because I spent so much, the first half, literally, y'all, when I say first half, I'm talking about the first 50 years of my life, fighting for what was familiar. So now I'm in the ring. I am one gritty sister. You hear me? And I am in the ring. I've got my gloves on, and I'm staying there. I'm not jumping back out. I'm not bailing out. I'm not tagging somebody to take me out and put a replacement in. No more sitting in the cheap seats. That's so dang overrated. And I'm no more listening to the people out there either. How about that? And seeking their opinion. And yes, I know some of you are probably going, well, you're a coach and trainer. Why are you dealing with this? I'm like, well, because it's real and it's life, and we're all dealing with it. Some people say they're not. You might want to run from those people that say they've got it all figured out, because nobody does. But this is what I know. What is meant for you will not pass you by. And if something changes and you have to give up something, or something is taken from you, trust me, your creator, and I've told y'all, and you know this, I'm a person of faith, a woman of faith. But there's no way that you were created to put down here on this beautiful planet to just have to settle for the leftovers, to settle for the reruns, to settle for the... It's kind of like looking at the same movie you've seen forever. No, you need to find the new movie, and there's one out there. Our circumstances are not responsible for our behavior. They're just not. So no more blaming, oh, it's cloudy today, I can't go work out. My husband brought home chocolate chip cookies. That's why I went in there and started, picking out on them. No, that's a you and you deal. That's a Lynn Brown deal. That's my responsibility. So we just got to deal with where we are. I mean, I had to change my whole business too. Everything I had was face-to-face, and then everything was canceled, and then I had to learn how to do everything over again, just like many of you, just like the majority of the world. I still love the story of the restaurants. My two of our team members in our John Maxwell team, they own 12 restaurants in California and Nevada, different states, and they had to redo how they did their business. And so during the height, of the pandemic, they began to take orders for healthcare workers and did deliveries that way. They found a way. I've had to learn, I've learned how to podcast during this time. I've learned how to edit a podcast. I've learned how to do Zoom and hop in, and, I'm still learning. But it's time to do something new. It's time for you to continue to become who you were created to be. Grow yourself. And hey, you know what? It's okay. If you've never really had a growth plan, don't beat yourself up about it. You know what? I didn't either. And so many people aren't even aware that they need one. I wasn't either. It's okay. Just start where you are. And you know what? And then when the next thing comes rolling around that we weren't expecting, you're going to be in a better position. You're going to be ready. You're going to already have decided in advance how you're going to respond, how you will react, and what your behavior will be like. And you're going to be leaning on some behaviors that are a lot healthier than some others, because you're aware of it and you are doing things to improve yourself. So on December the 31st of 2021, are you going to be totally willing to take responsibility for where you are in your business, in your life, in your health, in your finances, in your relationships, in your spiritual walk? Are you going to take full responsibility. I'd be willing to bet this past year, I bet there were so many people that blamed COVID for being where they were and failing to reach their goals. And y'all, I am not at all forgetting to take into consideration the hardships and the loss of life and just the trauma that so many have experienced because of this pandemic. But I know, regardless of the circumstances, we are wired to become more, to want more, to do more, and have more. And let me add, to give more away. This journey from broken to bulletproof has been tough, but I would not trade it for anything in this world. I wouldn't even trade where I am right now and having to make some changes in my business and, having to just cut some things out and add some things here and there. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. So what if? What if it works? What if after you listen to today's episode, what if you just write down one thing? I'm not saying 10 things. You don't have to have the 10, steps to creating your new life. One thing. What is one thing that you are aware of right now that you know that if you put it into place, it would move you closer to your dream? I want you to think about that one thing, because your dream wants all of you. So, okay, Gritty Sister, it's time to do it now. I'm so thankful that you listened in today. I'm so thankful that you're part of our Gritty Sister squad and this movement that is reaching all parts of the world. This gritty global movement. It's exciting, and there's some new things coming out soon I can't wait to share with you. But until then, I want you to think about this thing and remember this. You might want to write it down and put it on your fridge. You are worth so much more than your second guesses and your maybes. How about that? I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.